Hey everyone, it's from Scraps by Sissy. How's everybody doing this Wednesday morning? From what I understand, it's going to be almost 80 degrees here, and it's March, 4th? That's wild. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get signed on. Today we're actually going to be using the Timeless Tropical bundle and that gorgeous, what is it called? Tropical Oasis DSP. And we're going to make a fun fold card. Isn't that pretty? It's actually a W fold, as you can see by that. And it looks really complicated, but once you get all your pieces cut and ready to go, it's not really that bad. I'll give you the measurements for today's project. You can find all of the measurements when I'm done at my blog post for today. And here's the host code if you'd like to go shopping to get any of these items. The card base is in Mango Melody, and it's cut at 4 1/4 inches by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. There are 3 Whisper White panels that are cut at 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And then I have 2 of them that are cut at 2 1/2 inches. The Tropical Oasis DSP, I've got 2 of them cut at 2 by 2 1/2 inches. And then the one for the front is 2 inches by 5 1/4. And then the Mango Melody pieces, this strip is cut at 1 3/4 by 11, and it's scored at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. And then these 4 panels are cut at 2 1/4 by 2 3/4 inches. So let's go ahead and put our card together. And I also did some coloring on our ribbon today. That piece of ribbon there, that's actually the Very Vanilla with the gold metallic edge. I've colored it with my lovely lipstick, the Light Blends, Stampin' Blends marker. So we'll do that first so that it has a moment to dry. And this is the fun part about our blends, is if you don't have what you want for ribbon or rhinestones or whatever embellishments you're using, you can make your own. So you're just going to drag your marker across your ribbon. And I use the light only because it doesn't saturate as dark as the dark, obviously, but I think I can control the depth of color a little better. But that's just my opinion. So you're just gonna go and color a few inches like so. And you always want to have something protecting your work surface because it will go through. And I think that's long enough. We're gonna do the cheater method for the ribbon today, which helps you save ribbon. So let's set that aside just to dry for a minute. And we're also going to color some rhinestones. This time we're going to use the dark Stampin' Blends. This is also in Lovely Lipstick. And I like to use the chisel end for coloring my rhinestones. I'm just going to color 3 of them. And then, oops, got a runner. We'll just color this one over here. And we'll set those aside to when we need them. So now we'll put our card together here. And hopefully I've got all my pieces together today. We've been having a little bit of trouble with that, haven't we? So I'll start off first with our little pineapple. Now I die cut it in the Old Olive, and then I glued it to a piece of Daffodil Delight. And the way I glued it, you could use your fine tip glue pen, but I found another demonstrator showed this. This is what we did Saturday at our scrap club. I took one of our little daubers and I added some of our liquid glue and then just tapped the back side of it. And I had this sitting on our silicone mat, and then I glued it on a piece of the Daffodil Delight, and then I trimmed it just behind. Actually, I got that one a little short, but that's okay. So that you got the yellow of the pineapple coming through. Now I do want to give it some depth, so I am going to sponge it with some Old Olive. And that's just one of our sponges cut in force, and then I stapled on a, this is our circle tab punch. I punched it out in Old Olive and stapled it together so I know what color I'm using. And I'm just going to come over and just color it just like that. And I'm even going to go across the front of it. And like I said, it just gives it a little more depth in the die cut. And this is the top, and it's kind of got these little pieces that pop out, so I'm going to kind of give them some help to stick up a little bit. And I'm just going to lightly go over that. If I can't get some of those edges. This is such a cute little die cut. Can you see some scrapbook pages with this stuff? Adorable. Okay, I think that's enough, so we'll put this away for the moment. And then I'm going to just glue these guys together using mini glue dots. Just like that. Oops, didn't pick him up too well. There. Then I'm just going to stick him on the top, right about there. Because this is kind of a long die cut, you want to make sure you are able to keep it within the dimensions of your card base, so that when you stick it in the envelope, it doesn't get crumpled. So that takes care of that. Move him aside. Now we'll take one of our Whisper White layers, and we're going to stamp the sentiment up in the upper left hand corner, and this is using the Timeless Tropical stamp set, and this is cut with the coordinating dies. We're going to stamp this in our lovely lipstick, and we want to just get this in the upper left hand corner, just like, make sure this is straight. Sometimes my straight isn't very straight. Stamp that there. Set that aside. Put this away for the meantime. And then I'm going to glue my piece of Designer Series paper. And again, it's cut at 2 inches by 5 1/4. And we are going to just use some snail to glue that down. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to the Designer Series paper. Just set that there. And now we're going to add our ribbon. So basically what I'm going to do, I did not bring my Scotch tape, but that's okay, we'll just use snail. So the cheater method is you're just going to add enough of the ribbon to one side. Because I know if you're doing one card, you could technically wrap it around the card and tie it in a knot, but I don't want to use up that much ribbon, so I'm just going to lay this down right on the edge and into that adhesive. I'm going to pull this tight and snip it right there, and then we'll glue him on the back side here. Fold it over. And then you'll add this layer to the card front. Like so. And then I'm going to snip this other little piece off. And we're going to use this to tie our knot or faux bow, however you want to look at it. And hopefully I made this long enough to be able to tie it. There. Just pull that tight. And if you pull it so that it's straight, going the same way as the ribbon, it's going to look more like a bow than a knot. There we go. Just like that. Now we'll add our pineapple, and we're going to add him with some dimensionals. You can see how bad I trimmed that on the back side, but nobody sees that once it's on the card. I didn't put any on here since you could probably see through the little cuts in the die cut. It'd probably show through. And he's pretty stable with the mini glue dots. I'm just going to set him. He needs to go all the way down at the base of the card. There. Isn't that cute? So now for the inside. The left-hand side, you're not going to have any stamping, so you can just glue that right down to the inside, left-hand side of the inside left portion of the card base. And we'll just glue him on like that. Okay. So in the back side, we're going to stamp the little plumeria flower. We're going to stamp him or her in Lovely Lipstick. We're just going to add him or her right up here in the upper left hand corner. I think that's one of my favorite Hawaiian flowers. Now we're going to do some coloring, and this is where you have to be a little bit careful when you're going to use a blender pen and something that's stamped in just our regular inks. Normally when you're using your blender pen, you'll use StazOn ink so that you don't smear, but I didn't want any black on that flower. So I've put some Mango Melody on my little block here, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit, and all we're doing is just bringing in some of that Mango Melody. And if you get too crazy with it, you'll blur out all of those lines. So it's just enough to give that flower some of that color. Just like that. And by using the block, you don't mess up your ink pads. You just come in, you don't need a lot, just a little bit, just to bring in that color. And it keeps the integrity of the stamped image by doing it lightly. Isn't that pretty? Like I said, this is one of my favorite flowers, and they smell so good. Okay. There. Now he's done. Put this, oh, and to clean a blender pen, all you need to do is just color it on your paper till it goes clear. Just like that. Looks like I had more ink on that than I thought. There we go. Now, I'm going to stamp the second, we're going to save this because we're going to be using that again in a minute. I'm going to stamp the second sentiment down here in the lower right-hand corner. Just like that. And then we'll glue him to the inside back layer. Don't want to get that on the ink. Just like this. And lay him down here, just like that. Okay, we'll set him aside while we finish our panels here. So one of the panels, we're going to we're done with this color here. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to stamp one of the panels with the pineapple and one with the leaf. And then we'll do some more coloring. This one, on the inside of that card, I actually used my Stampin' Blends, but I'm going to use my blender pen this time and show you the difference. So we're going to add some more ink to another marker, or to another clear block, and come in with some of the olive. And this one you'll really need to be careful. Just kind of add it in. And it's just giving it a little bit of texture. Looks like there was a little bit of Mango Melody left on there. Get those ends. There. Clean that off. We'll set him aside. And now we're going to stamp our pineapple like so. And now we'll go back to some of that Mango Melody. And just color that in. And then clean it off. I guess I could have colored the top part before I cleaned off the blender pen, but that's okay. And again, you're just bringing in some more color. And that's that. Now we'll glue all our layers together and get that strip on the inside to create that W. And then we'll be done. So add some adhesive to him, glue him down. I think those pineapples are just sweet. Oh, that's a pun, isn't it? Pineapple is definitely one of my favorite fruits. Now you could add some Wink of Stella in here. In fact, I have some Wink of Stella. Just lightly, because you don't want to muddy the colors, but you're just going to give it enough to give it some sparkle. That's all you need there. And then we'll glue these guys down. This designer series paper is just absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to scrapbook some of our tropical type pictures. We took a trip to Hawaii well, gosh, it's been too long. We're due to go. Okay, I'll move this out of the way. So this was the 1 3/4 by 5.5, or I'm sorry, 1 3/4 by 11, and it's scored at 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4. So this is going to go down, up, and down. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. This guy's just being a pill, isn't he? Add some adhesive to the back end of this. And you might want to use tear and tape on that. I didn't bring my tear and tape with me. So you're going to close your folds this way, and then you're just going to set him down just above the sentiment that you stamped, right to the edge of the Whisper White, like that. You'll come over, and you're going to add some more adhesive, and you're just going to shut your card. And there you go. So now we'll glue these guys down, and you're going to do a step effect when you glue these. I think I added adhesive on the wrong side. Okay, this guy's going to be upside down. Actually, we can use him over here since this needs to be up. That way the pattern will be facing the right way. Oops. And again, I added too much adhesive. Didn't need it on that bottom, so we're going to, let's see, what are we going to do? We'll put him on the front. And then I'll get my adhesive eraser and clean that off later. Oh, the joys of live. Okay, so this is going to go glue at the top, like so. And this guy is going to get glued at the, add glue to the top of him. And that way you'll be able to see that plumeria flower. And there you go. Isn't that a cute birthday card? So all the dimensions will be on today's blog post. You can go to scrapspicesissy.com. I have to go in and link everything for you, but it'll all be there. Oh, we forgot to add our rhinestones. Let's do that right quick. The ones that I colored, they're so pretty. We can't forget those. So we'll just pick him up, and we'll put this one right here. Always got to have a little bit. In fact, I've got one on my finger here. Always got to have some bling on the card, right? And we'll pick this guy up and add him. Let's put him right smack in the middle of that flower. There. Can't have a card without bling now, can we? So I thank you for stopping by and spending time with me. Again, all of the directions and measurements and everything will be on my blog post for today. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday and enjoy the weather. Take care. Bye.